Hey gang, welcome back to another video. With Halloween just around the corner, I've decided to tackle another upgrade to our cemetery columns that I've been putting off for a few years. So in this video, I'll show you how to add a realistic moss paint job to your props, plus an added bonus. So let's get into it. The most important thing you can do before any painting project is to make sure that your props are free of dust, spider webs, or anything else that might prevent the paint from making a good bond. So I grabbed a brush as well as my rechargeable duster and did a bit of surface prep. With that out of the way, let's talk about paint. This is a pretty straightforward upgrade, since it only uses 2 to 3 colors to really achieve the look I'm after. A moss green, a brighter green that will be used for highlights, and a bit of black that will be used as a wash so that things don't look too bright. As far as brushes go, I'll be alternating between a brush and a sea sponge to help apply and blend the paint, although you could probably do this with either one on its own. I just like having options. The last thing I'll need, which isn't in this lineup, is a tiny spray bottle filled with water. This will help keep the paint from drying out and allow me more time to work it around on the columns. Now that I've covered supplies, it's time to paint. There's not a ton of technique to this paint job. I start by wetting down the surface to help paint move a bit easier, while applying small workable clusters of color. Then I can blend it outwards and downward to prevent any hard edges. I'll do this with both the brush and sea sponge, dabbing the paint on with the brush, moving it around a bit, and dragging it down with the sponge to give the fake stone surfaces of our columns a green tint. As I'm applying paint, I'm also thinking of what areas would see the least amount of sun and making those parts the most vibrant. So the underside of the cap, the grout lines, the underside of the monogram, and any recesses will get a heavier application. The rest will have a much more subtle hue with just some heavier touches here and there to reinforce the overall look. This is one of those processes that will feel wrong for about 90% of the application before it starts to feel right. So start on an unseen part of your prop to get a feel for it before applying paint to the rest. I'll work my way from top to bottom, trying to keep it as random as possible while I make my way down the front face of the column. While I'm painting, I make it a point to take a step back every so often to look at the overall appearance. I'm constantly assessing what the entire piece looks like, looking for areas where the paint may be too heavy so that if I need to blend it out, it's still in a workable state to do so. I'm also considering whether it makes sense. Having spent time looking at real moss growing on real tombstones, I'm constantly thinking about how this would occur in nature, and whether my recreation is living up to those references I have in my head. For our haunt, so that there's not a bunch of different types of mosses, lichen, and aging, I've decided to keep it on the subtle side, since it's more important that these things all look like they could occur in the same location. So this subtle tint of green will tell a bit of a story without seeming out of place for our cemetery. Once the first shade of green is down, I'll grab the tiny spray bottle of thinned out black paint and we'll use it to deepen the color a bit. The spray bottle takes some of the humanness out of the application because the paint will run and drip in unpredictable ways, which helps give it a more organic look. Plus, these columns have been sun-bleached after years in our haunt and could use a little extra grime. After the black wash is dried, I'll grab my brighter green color and start to apply a few touches here and there before blending it out with the sponge. I'm looking to hit the high spots and centers of the previous clusters of paint to give even more variation to the finish. I'll repeat this down the entire face of the column, and then I can step back to see if there's any areas that need more paint or possibly need to get dulled down with the black paint wash until I'm happy with how it looks. Because I'm using acrylics, this won't need to be sealed to protect the finish. So I'll just let the paint dry and then I can move on to one more final touch that will complete this upgrade. The last thing I wanted to add to this column upgrade is based off this photo I found online many years ago. The look of the fern plants creeping out from the cracks in the brick has always been an interesting detail to me, and so I'm going to add it to our columns. I was able to find some decent fake ferns online and will need to cut them into smaller pieces for this part of the project, since the full-size pieces would be a bit much. I'm going for subtlety with this addition, and when it comes to cheap fake plants, it's the only way to keep them from looking like cheap fake plants. I'll trim them from this larger bunch of ferns, and once I have the individual pieces, I'll trim off the ends a bit to give me a better gluing surface. This will get repeated a bunch of times to have enough pieces for the 2 columns, but I won't subject you to all of that. With all my ferns cut down into smaller pieces, I grabbed my drill and a small drill bit and can get to adding in mounting holes for the ferns. I'll be gluing these in with CA glue, so the drill bit needs to be slightly larger than the thickness of the fern pieces. And because the columns are hollow, I can drill all the way through the walls and set them in deep, which should help to keep them secure for years to come. I'll continue to apply the fern pieces as randomly as possible, making sure not to mirror or duplicate the placement on the other column, and when I think I've done enough, I can take a step back and check out my work. So that's just one of about a dozen quick upgrades I'm trying to squeeze in before Halloween, and hopefully it gave you some ideas of low cost and low time investment upgrades that you could do to your own props. That's going to do it for this one. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, but most importantly, go make something.